What's going on, Tamers? Welcome to DigiPod, the digital podcast. I'm your boy Varney, as always, and today we've got, as always, the boys. They're still Mike and they're still Dan.
I thought you were going to introduce us as guests for a second. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
I would hope so.
Today we've got special guests, Mike and Dan. You should know them. They're from DigiGuard United, some up-and-coming Digimon competitive team or some bullshit like that, you know?
Now, last time we had a competitive team, it didn't go well.
Hey,
who's we?
We were a ragtag group of guys who went, competed in a tournament. We would have done something if we had just a little bit more team cohesion. I.e., if you've already listened to Dan.
It's true.
Dan is about 99.9% right, so usually
I wouldn't say all that shit. I'd say, given recent results, I'd say like 97.5%.
Little fucking side note.
That works.
Dan was losing an argument with me on Facebook and he reported me. My man reported me, got me chat banned, bro.
You're literally lying. You're literally lying to the American public. I shouldn't even say American public. I shouldn't even say American public. The world public. You are literally lying to the world public right now. That's how crazy
you were losing the argument. You said
no. It don't work like that.
Gotta hit the report button on this guy.
No. I'm not a bitch. I wouldn't report you. So I ain't other people that we're not gonna name.
And I whoop. Before we get any further in this podcast, for those of you who are tuning in and you notice something might be off with my mic, I apologize. I had to switch computers. I wrote about it in Discord. I don't have my mic settings applied, so it probably sounds like shit, and I'm going to try to fix it when I edit this, but no guarantees. So apologies in advance. It'll be fixed in the next pod. That being said, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the locals, in which Varney didn't go to once again, because life. So we're gonna throw it over to Mike. How was locals?
Which he also didn't participate in because
you're gonna throw it over to Dan. Dan, how was locals?
I was working on my car. So.
Finally working on the car, you see.
Yeah, it did not. I didn't fix the issue I thought it was. So.
Yeah, it sounds about right. That's why I hate working on cars. That's why mine's just sitting back there because I'm not going through that. Dan, how was locals?
Surprisingly not bad. I think it was like we had like 12 people or 11 people.
Okay. TBL type turnout.
The type of people that should show up. We probably could have had like a nice, 16 maybe. You know what I'm saying? I didn't play well at all.
Man's played like a scrub.
We weren't
for
there
sure.
To support you, that's why, bro.
I was playing Black Whirlwind again, and the worst thing you could do is have your deck organized and forget your deck was organized.
Okay, sure, like any level-based deck, but like for some reason, especially for me,
Greymon decks.
Greymon
for sure.
Examon is the same thing.
And round one had one of the worst matchups Black or Greymon could have, which is Jesmon. Lost 2-1. Jesmon did Jesmon things when they won. And when I won the one game, I did Black or Greymon things, So lost that. Round two. God, I'm so mad I lost that one too. I had like a hard misplay at the end, but it probably wouldn't have mattered. But anyways, round two played against Rosemon. Lost to that. You would think I could see Greymon X. Never saw it when I needed it. Because they like to go into Hydramon and bottom deck.
It's pretty tough.
Which was the reason why I basically lost. Never saw Greymon X. And then was it Rosemon Burst Mode? That's what I'm trying to think of. Can suspend your Black or Greymon. So sometimes that doesn't,
it is
being
pretty
forced
nice.
to suspend. Even though you have the redirect, but a Burst Mode is 15k, so you need to make sure you're at 15k or more, so they don't, crash into you. And then he was running a spicy tech in Dimension Scissors. Which he got off.
Damn.
The combo. He I had I think one game Black or Greymon or something like that, and an Agumon on board. Mans went burst mode, swung over to Agumon. I trashed 2, No piercing on that one at least. And then Dimension Scissors unsuspended, swung again, trash another 2, and a check. So it was 3 checks. So 5 checks immediately gone. And I was like, all right, that's a thing, you know?
That was my boy Rumburger, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He asked me about that. I was like, if it works, it works. It's a good card.
Yeah. Game 3, never saw Greymon X as well. So GG's. And then I played against Shine and then won against that in round 3. And that was it because our Paradigm lost. Nice 1-2.
Sounds nice. Finishing like a scrub.
For sure. That week, definitely. And Jesmon won.
Wow. We would have had 2 Jesmon wins if Jesmon was able to take the TBL. It would have been the same turnout. Sure. How funny would that have been?
Because he played against... So he played against me, then he played against, I think, Red Hybrid. You know, he played against Red Hybrid in finals, and then he played round 2, I think, Gammon or Jellymon deck. I forget which one.
Interesting stuff. All right. I'm gonna have to edit this part out because I forgot to pull up the poll results and I gotta go log in.
Or we just keep this in and just say fuck it.
Little intermission, baby. Did we get copyright strikes because Varney's saying Dora?
Nickelodeon, Viacom, they might.
Maybe.
Connection failure.
Is it like an ADHD thing? But I have music constantly playing in my head. What about you guys?
I don't have it constantly playing in my head, but like it's constant.
It depends on depends on what I'm caught into.
No, like, just like music. A lot of times it's weird shit like Christmas songs. I don't know why.
I don't
Am I
wanna
jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Yeah, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yeah,
no,
like
you gotta have
weird.
the Mariah Carey in your head. You gotta channel your head canon.
No, it's like weird. I think
I'll have songs stuck in my head once in a while, but not like consistently thinking of music.
He says, huh.
Weird.
All right. So first, we've got our.
Varney, make sure you edit that out.
No, we gotta keep that. We gotta keep that.
I said some things on there.
We should totally keep it.
So first off here, we've got our Q&A. We've got a whopping 7 responses. So a very nice, very engaging Q&A. Speaking of, before I talk about our responses, if you guys are watching this on YouTube or you're listening on Spotify, these Q&As and these poll results are straight from Spotify because Spotify is our main platform for distribution. So if you want to answer the Q&A, you want to drop some votes in the polls, hop over on Spotify. You can fill it right out. If you don't, then just hop on the YouTube video. You can do it on the YouTube video when you hear it. We'll respond to it there too.
For sure.
With that being said, I asked the audience, what is your playstyle and how did you discover it? So starting from our oldest response, we've got Set Key. He said, I like aggro, but I really like Green's piercing control like aggro. It puts a little more thought into the style. It's funny because piercing, I feel like piercing, it was never really a Green native identity, was it? Because I know Red had it with that Breakdramon from like BT whatever, but I don't know how prevalent it was in Red to begin the game with.
It was like you played the Breakdramon just to play it, but that was really it. It wasn't like a thing. Like you're not really trying to pierce per se, like compared to Green where like you're trying to piercing a lot of times. Right.
And then we got Chaosmon, which gave some other decks access to piercing, not just Green. And now we've got Greymon doing piercing shenanigans, as well as Machine Dramon. Machine Dramon does piercing as well. That's two.
Yeah, because you could put the Metal Greymon heritable.
Yeah, 2 red-black decks that have piercing. So interesting there. We've got Austin says, honestly, I like a mid-range red deck. I know that sounds nuts. Gallantmon is by far my favorite deck in terms of Digimon and playstyle. I know it's not great, but it's super fun for me. And at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. If the deck is fun for you, then play it. Otherwise, why play the game? Jeremy says, I feel like I enjoy mid-range and control like black or gray, but as much as you may hate me for saying this, I've been having a blast with the Alphamon combo, mostly because Alphamon is my favorite Digimon.
Can't trust anyone like that.
Can't trust anybody.
I feel like they're only saying that just because what was it, 2 weeks ago now is when I had my little Alphamon rant.
Yep, everybody was about that.
The comments were funny about the.
You saw the comments? Yeah, they were great.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact comments. I know one guy was like, me with my Alphamon deck just hiding over here.
He was like, sorry, Dad, I play Alphamon. Something like that. I was dying.
We've got Ray who said, I have a reference. I have a preference for mid-range and the ability to adapt to whatever my opponent is doing. It's why, there we go. It's why I like multicolored decks the most, because they usually have the ability to adapt to the meta. Yeah, Mastamon, definitely a control deck. But if it gets going, or depending on how it changes going into like BT14, BT15, can definitely see a little bit more mid-rangey aggro style. A little bit more like why I like Ofani Loop, because Ofani Loop...
I feel like
has that
Mastamon, it might be too colored. I get what the person was saying. Who was it, Ray?
Yeah, it was Ray. You can flame Ray. Ray's listening. Flame him. Just tell him he had a bad take.
No. I'm not saying all that, but I feel like Mastamon is even though you can switch it up for different things, it still does what it needs to do, which is tries to get to the Mastamon.
Correct. Yeah. That's why I like Ofani Loop. Ofani Loop gives me that versatility in a multicolored deck. It's one thing I wish Examon had. I don't need Sec +1 in that deck, because obviously Sec +1 is not good in that deck. But if I had easy access to it, I'd definitely play Sec +1 in Examon.
Bro, Slayer and Examon both can swing a suspend, swing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You don't need Sec +1 in that deck, but if I had a way to put Sec +1 reliably in the deck, because not using the starter deck era of Udramon. It's not reliable.
Just use the plugin that gets Sec +1.
Could just use the plugin. Go for that one turn OTK. We've got David who said, trashing decks. I discovered it after failing with OTK, security control, and mill decks. I used the Hexablau Azulon combo. It helped me against the bullshit of a Lord Knight deck that 90% of people played. Yeah, trashing is a very strong strat, whether it's trashing source or trashing security. Trashing source is... in this type of game, I think it's honestly, to an extent, it's overpowered. Not not me saying oh my goodness, it's busted, but just sometimes they make it really easy to strip source. And Soranjo, for example, you attack with a native blue deck, you get to strip 2 source, no shot. You've got other cards that strip source, like Tommy obviously was polarizing, strip 3 source. You got Surai that strips 4, and then Suedo stuns for only a 4-cost option. I think it's super easy to strip source in a game where it's built entirely on your inheritables. And although X antibodies make it so it's not as bad, I wish they would tone down on the amount of source stripping that they give us, because sometimes it just feels... It relates back to that video, which we got a lot of comments on, that I said blue decks are overtuned. And we had 3 comments on that, because obviously blue decks polarizing, right?
I feel like source stripping is weird, because it's at times it feels super overpowered, and at times it feels very underwhelming too. Right. So there's no... They haven't given a good balance for source stripping, it feels like. They're either super nice, super strong, or they're just meh. A Hexablau deck feels meh. But
to be fair, I mean, Hexablau...
When you sprinkle it in, I'm using it because that's probably the most prevalent source strip on deck until we get into besides blue hybrid-ish.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And then when we get to BT14, the Goldmon stuff, right? I feel like that's gonna be the next legit source stripping deck.
We need a Hexablau X antibody.
But yeah, that'd be cool if that existed. But yeah, so like you said, I think like Tommy's example was like busted, but then like Hexablow. So blue hybrid, really strong, and then you had like Hexablow that was like, like in the Sword Strip because he didn't do too much. But then you have cards like what you said, Sora, like that's what takes it to the next level of Sword Strip and makes it like super strong and feels very, very what's the word I'm looking for? Very
OP.
Yeah, just OP.
Just OP. Not because get us this way. It's not that we're saying that like, oh my goodness, it's broken. It needs to be fixed. This, that, the other. No. It's just like there needs to be a balance because sometimes it's too much, and obviously in the case of Hexablow, it's too little. Although I would say Hexablow Sword Strip is good. Or maybe it should have been like a strip 1 from the bottom of all your opponent's Digimon on attack, or strip 1 on like up to 3 or something. But it's just the fact that like he's 11k, he has no protection. Once he's gone, and in this meta, you need protection.
It's just easily played around though.
Exactly. Yeah, 110%. Next up, we've got Walker. Said, funnily enough, Hexablow was my first deck, go figure. Been a Source Strip / stun enjoyer since, taking away important inheritables and keeping my opponent from doing their combos / playing the game works for me. Yeah, and that, like I said, like I like Source Strip for that idea. But in this game, I mean, sources are everything. Machine Dramon, perfect example. Machine Dramon can easily build up, Dan, what, by, I would say turn 4, you could build up a solid 8 sources or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bell.
And so, like, if you're playing like a blue deck, like a Source Strip blue deck, something like Dianamon, it's like, well, it's not a lost matchup for you, but it's definitely difficult because Dianamon stripping sources in that type of deck, they'll most likely be playing Sojos, they'll most likely be playing Surais, and it's just like, damn. Source is gone. And then if you're playing any other deck, maybe like a Greymon deck, for example, easily strip everything away except the X antibody. You have no protection. Black or Gray still gets his effect, which is cool. He can't be stunned unless it's like a blue flare type of stun. But, you know, back to the balance portion of it. And then for our last comment, we've got, oh gosh, I'm going to butcher this. Thanasis, if I butchered your name. Thanasis. Thanas. If I butchered your name,
yeah,
bro.
That's Thanasis. Yeah,
Thanasis.
It's Greek.
Right. Oh, there you. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it makes sense. I'm not gonna call his last name on thing here, but yeah, it makes sense. Sounds like a Greek.
Is it Antetokounmpo?
Thanasis Antetokounmpo? No. I love the mid-range style of Black or Gray. You can go fast or control. Really versatile. I discovered my playstyle by playing... What the hell is that? MTG Grixis Control. Let's see. What the hell would be that?
Grixis Control is Magic the Gathering, dude.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, what the fuck?
Yeah, I had no idea what that was. Like, in my head, just like Metal Greymon?
Right? I was like, Metal Greymon Grandis Control? What?
Yeah, so I was like, I was thinking the same thing.
Black or Gray feels like that, but with dinosaurs instead of Nicole Bolas. That's for you, Mike, because I have no idea who that
Nicol
is.
Bolas. It's Nicol Bolas. He's a planeswalker. He's like the big bad in Magic. It's like a lot of lore with Magic. Like it's a card game, but they used to like. There's a lot of lore with it. But Grixis is black, blue, and red.
Black, blue, and red.
It's mainly black, and then splash blue and red in there.
Well, if that fits with the theme of Digimon, black and red, more black for Black or Gray, fits it pretty well.
For sure.
And so now here's the spicy one. I asked for the poll, what color is the most fun for you in the Digimon card game? What do you guys think people said? We got 21 votes. What do you guys think people said?
Red. Going red.
I won't be surprised if I see either purple or black or green.
Okay. So we've got one vote for yellow, to no one's surprise.
I'm not surprised.
Which I was, I can't remember if we talked about this last pod or if it was something that we were talking about like in person or something. But like, it's funny because yellow is kind of like a new type of like play style in a way, not like completely new, but in what it does, right? So Dan, what I was talking about is in relation to the concept of security. Because how many games have the idea of security? Pokemon has prize cards, but it doesn't work in the same way.
A little different. Yeah.
Dragon Ball has life, also doesn't work in
I
the
think that's
same
also
way.
a little different as well, right?
Exactly. The closest thing is One Piece with their life, which works in the most similar way to Digimon's. And I think Digimon is compared to Chrono Trigger in terms of mechanics, but I don't know if life is part of that, or security, I should say. So, with what Yellow does, I think it's just like a lot of people hate it because it's like, well, fuck, stop recovering. I'm just trying to fucking kill you. Or stop putting shit into your security that makes me hate myself for swinging into your security, such as SecCon, which is what I was talking about. It's kind of a new playstyle because you don't see that type of, you don't see security in other games, so you don't see this type of play style in other games where everything is kind like your deck is like half luck, half skill kind of thing, where maybe a little bit less. Obviously we had that podcast with Huang Zero where we talked about the balance of luck and skill, and we said Varney's a bad Vanguard player. That's why I switched over to Digimon.
You did out yourself as having a bit of a skill issue there.
Sure did.
And I have no problems with doing that because you know what, Vanguard, I said it once, I'll say it again, it's not the game for me. It felt way too luck driven for me. I had no
Yeah, no, you said that in the
playing
previously.
that shit. No fun playing. Sometimes. That being said, green also had 1 vote. So no, nobody likes green. And I think that might be attributed to Bloomlord. I'm not gonna lie.
Green feels like it's a very user-friendly color in the sense of like people, like it's a very specific amount of people that like green. And those green people are like green lovers who are like,
they will never play anything else besides green.
Green or die for some reason. It's weird.
Yeah.
Right, it makes sense.
But I will say, I bet you the reason why more people don't like playing green is because for the last 5-6 sets, there's really one.
It feels like it's one
play.
deck.
Yeah. Even if you play Rosemont, it still feels like it's the same deck as Bloom.
Yes, it does.
It really does.
3 votes for red.
I'm not surprised.
A 4-way tie for 4 votes each with the other colors between blue, black, purple, and multicolor.
Oh, I didn't know multicolor was
if
choice.
multicolor was an option, that would have been what I picked.
Oh yeah, you can attribute one general-ish playstyle to multicolor decks. Not counting like the black or grays. Black or gray feels a little bit different in terms of multicolor. I think more like Examon, Mastamon,
like actual
Imperial.
like double colored, the DNA decks.
Right, the ones that actually have to make use of blue or of 1 and 2 colors compared to something like Greymon where a lot of their stuff is dual color to begin with. Or
Right.
I don't really have another good example of I guess Ophani.
Shine Greymon.
I guess. Yeah, exactly. Shine Gray, perfect example. So yeah, 4-way tie between those and an interesting set of colors between blue, black, purple, and multicolor. It's especially funny with black because it feels like black is like a newer player thing. Like a lot of players get into the game, they're like, oh, I love black, but then you don't see people play black because obviously mono black outside of Alphamon isn't really doing anything. Purple, obviously, my choice. Blue. Who enjoys playing? When do you guys enjoy playing blue? What's so fun about blue?
Imperial.
Multicolor.
Yeah, but like old school Imperial was just blue. Really.
I'll still classify you as multicolor. I'll let you come into the multicolored crowd so I can hate on blue. To be fair, I did hate old jamming Imperial too. It invalidated one of my main strats, but
love that deck.
And then obviously multicolor because multicolor decks, DNA decks, Examon, Mastamon, Imperial, what's about to be Grace Nova, that got a top I saw. A bunch of cool, fun, good stuff. So that's everything there. Now we're going to talk about the Tamers Battle League Week 16, which has just previously happened. We had 11 players and our pair down lost, so we also only went for 3 rounds. Our winner was Angry Aquaman with Shine Gray, taking home his 2nd win in the last week of the TBL, solidifying his spot in the top 8. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it was a top 8 spot. And then we had a newcomer, Royal Knight GX Stan, who came with Jesmon and almost slaughtered the competition, but Shine Gray proved too strong. And Jesmon also just had Jesmon things happen because that's what Jesmon does best. Which, you know, I will take this moment to derail just for like 30 seconds to say, if you commented on our tier list and you said, I think you guys undershot Jesmon, I think Jesmon's a lot better than you guys put it out to be. Well, you were wrong and we were right. I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say that. I put it in pilot oriented. Mike and Dan agreed with me because it's a good deck. It's clearly a pilot deck. It has its quirks. It has its downfalls. When it works, it works. It takes a good pilot to take it all the way. We saw it fucking twice at locals because one locals I was there. It happened to me. It happened this past week at locals. It took the TBL. Now, granted, 3 rounds, but still, you know, winning is still a thing. And
there's only been one Jesmon top in like the last since BT13.
I think that's it. Just one Jesmon top, maybe 2 if we're forgetting one, but that's it. So. Just wanted to say that. That being said, I realized I didn't upload the the standings for TBL, so I don't remember who's where and whatnot. But all I know is that Leppy did lock up the first place spot for the entire season of the Tamers Battle League, and he did it by quite a few points. So shout out to Leppy for doing well this entire season and for being consistent. You know, the one thing that was really rewarded this season was consistency. Leppy was not only consistently there, but consistently topping, and that helped him a lot. And for someone like Nikesh showed up the first, I want to say 4 weeks.
Yeah.
3 to 4 weeks he showed up. He won 2 events, and they were pretty big events. They were maybe like 12, somewhere between 11 to 16 players. So he got a lot of points for it as well. And honestly, he just took a break for the rest of the season. Man still finished in like 5th. So the 2 things that mattered the most, one thing that we were trying to decide upon when we were making the TBL is, number 1, you're rewarded for winning. And number 2, you're rewarded for showing up. 3 things. Number 3, you're rewarded for doing well and doing it consistently. We saw that with Coach. You know, Coach may not have... Coach won 1. He topped a couple, but Coach finished top 8, and that's by virtue of showing up every week and playing the game, you know? So next season, we're tentatively starting December 1st. If you guys want to play, I just, you know, like I said, it's never too late. We're going to refine the points a little bit, try to bring the standings just a little bit closer together. Try not to let Leppy run away with this time. But yeah, it's a fun time to be around. You guys should definitely tune in by the time you're listening to this for the single elimination tournament that will be happening this Friday at 8 p.m. whenever you're listening to this within that week. I don't have a date because I don't feel like looking it up. But be there, be square. It's a fun time. And now let's get to the main topic. A little bit early. We're like 30 minutes and we're finally getting to our main topic. Look at us streamlining, right?
Wow, that's impressive, honestly.
The reprint set. We want to talk about the reprint set. I think this is a big topic to talk about because I've been seeing so many
polarizing lately, surprisingly.
Really polarizing, like even more polarizing than when they originally announced their original plans for it. So I mean, like, I don't even know where to start. Like, so obviously, I guess the big thing is that when this set, the reprint set, RB-01, Rising Wind, it's called RB-01. It stands for Reprint Booster. Bandai decided they were going to give... So, okay, let's give some background, right? We got to give the background first. On the Japanese side of things, there was a shift right between... when did this set come out for the Japanese? It was before BT13, right?
Sounds about right.
Yes.
Probably even earlier than that.
So I'm pretty sure Reprint Booster dropped for the Japanese player base after EX4. Like,
I'm gonna look it up right now for you.
Cool. So either right after EX4 or right before BT13.
Right before BT13.
All right, cool.
So this came out January. BT13 came out February.
Okay, so that's number one. That's the number one thing to remember. This set came out before BT13 for the Japanese player base. What had happened at that point in time? There was a shift in the team, specifically the head designer or whatever. I remember watching a video about it. Basically, what happened is a new person took over, and the first thing he said is, wow, some of these cards are expensive. Secret Rare Metal Greymon was expensive for them over there. Obviously, some of their other cards were a little bit expensive. So the first thing that he wanted to do was make a set for new players. Okay, that's the important thing to remember. He wanted to make a set for new players to get into the game, to pick up some staples that were still used in decks nowadays. And that's what he did. That was one of their first products by that new director. Now, one thing to remember one thing that's important to remember, I can't remember who said this. I actually think it was Huang on our last podcast. By the time that they got into it, like BT13 was already thought out and everything. That had nothing to do with the new, like you could see there was definitely a little bit of a shift there, but that was previous team. You can see BT14 was new designer, or BT14 RB-01 new designer going forward. So the entire idea of the set was geared towards, hey, you're a new player, pick this setup. You can get a couple new cards because of the Ghost Game stuff, but most of it is reprints. This is for you guys to get into the game because we want you to have cards cheap. And so when they were bringing RB-01 over to the English player base, as far as I can remember, we were only going to get RB-01, the reprint booster, as RB-01 Rising Wind with just the Ghost Game stuff. And people were up in arms, completely up in arms. They were like, what? Where's the reprints? We want the reprints, blah, 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 blah. Big hissy fit was thrown by the community. Bro, there were petitions, Reddit posts, people were sending emails. And so what did Bandai do? Bandai came out and said, okay, we heard you. We wanted to do something. As a matter of fact, I'll read it to you. So, they specifically said, the release of RB-01 will be delayed and the product configuration will be reworked to feature reprints from the Japanese version, as well as reprinted cards and features exclusive to the English version. And then they announced that they were taking out some cards for us, namely the Security Rookies, the Security Rookie Alt Arts, and the Memory Boost Alt Arts, all of which hurt, to be honest. We got Security Rookies as box toppers,
we got them for tournament
packs as tournament packs, and then the Memory Boost as these gift set promos. So back then, okay, I just want to clarify this. Back then, everybody was happy with this. Everybody was like, oh my goodness, we did it. Yay. We made Bandai change their bad plans. Like, everybody was super ecstatic. I'm literally reading the post. They did announce what they were doing with these 3 sets of cards. So everybody was happy with this. They were happy with this change. Nobody's happy today. Everybody is upset. Everybody is upset. Nobody likes, they don't like.
So true.
Don't. Before I hand this over to Mike and Dan, the one thing that I'll say is I don't like the price of the set. For this being a reprint set, this should have cost half the price of a standard set. Standard sets, I believe pack MSRP is something like $449. So it means a case comes in at something like $1,100 to $1,300. A box is like $120. This MSRP should have been $60. Stores should have been able to sell this for somewhere between $30 to $50. $70 for this hurts big time. And you saw it on the secondary market for this set to the point that there's some controversy about certain sellers buying up cards in an effort to kind of pump up the market and make this set more worthwhile to buy. Mike, what do you think? First of all, what do you think about the people and their feelings towards the release of this set?
So I don't know. It's like a mixed bag.
Right.
So, for one, we did kind of ask for this, and also, to be fair, I remember when this set released in Japan, the Japanese players were annoyed because everything was short printed except for the reprint cards. Like, do you guys remember that originally?
I do remember that. Yeah.
So,
for the record, we got the same exact pull rates.
We
basically got the same
kind
exact
of
thing.
ask for it, you know. I think that the price is kind of crazy for the buying it itself, like just the set. On top of that, the outrage is kind of weird though, because it is not really a main set at all. Obviously, it's not even an EX set. It's literally just a reprint set. I feel like if you needed cards from it, right, and you're not a new player, buy the singles. Why would you get upset? Like, if it's short printed, you're gonna have to pay some more money. But it's short printed, like, then don't waste your money on boxes knowing it's short printed, right? Like, that's stupid. Like, oh, I need these cards, but I don't want to pay single prices, so I'm gonna go buy a box at MSRP and then have to buy singles anyways because I just spent all this money and didn't pull what I needed. Like, that's how I feel right now. It's like, if you're not a new player, don't buy it. If you want to buy it because you need old cards, then that's fine. But if you're just looking, and I'm pretty sure it's mostly just the Gamemon shit that's expensive, right? That's it.
Of course, yeah. It's literally
mostly.
Right?
Proximamon obviously being the secret, and then the alt arts for Sirius,
and they're not even
Arcturus.
expensive either, right? They're like $24 a piece.
They're pretty reasonable.
Yeah, Proxima 36.
Yeah.
They're
So
actually
it's
the
like,
same price right now, which is wild.
So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. I would just, so you need probably 3 or 4 of those secrets? I haven't built the deck.
Probably 3. I think 3 is probably
right?
a fine spot.
So, I would rather buy 3 secret rares for $90, right? Than buy a box of this for $70.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can maybe pull 1. That doesn't really make sense. So that's just how I feel, right? Like, why waste your money if you are only looking for Gamemon shit? Then why complain that you're not pulling it? Why complain about the other stuff being cheaper? Like, just buy the singles.
Now, to that point,
so
go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
I was about to say, as someone who's like day one, right, of Digimon, like me, for example, right?
Yep.
Do I need to go buy it? Absolutely not. Do I want to just because that's just me? I bought 2 boxes just to see how they were from my own pleasure. I can, if I want to spend $80 per box, I can do that. Not a problem. And with that point being said, I didn't expect to make my money back for those people who are bitching about it, which is fucking crazy to me. Like, usually I'm not cursing about it, but that's how much it was annoying me. Example, yesterday. Y'all know him, and he annoys y'all too. He bought 2 boxes, I think it was. And every single pack, he was complaining about, oh my God, I got all these reprints. Bro, it's a reprint pack. What are you expecting? He was like, but it's called Resurgence Booster. Are you stupid or are you stupid? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like why are you you're not there to try, you buying a box that's not meant for you and you're crying about it. Why are you crying about it, dog? Go buy your singles. You can do that. So just do it. It's cool. It's a cool set because, the one thing I don't understand the crying about it because I would say how many, Mike, because me and you are former, you've already too, but you're more newer to TCGs. How many percentage wise you think Digimon players are former players of Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon? What do you think the percentage is?
Oh, I don't know.
That's tough.
That's tough. I feel like I meet a lot of new, like TCG.
I'm gonna say, me personally, I think probably about 50 to 75% are all former players of a different card game.
Yeah, 100%.
How many reprint sets did Yu-Gi-Oh make? From when it first started, about every 5 sets or so, it was a reprint set that they drop, and they drop new cards in them. Why are we acting like this is something fucking new? This is not new at all. This is something that every card game does because they need to do it for those sets. After a while, those old sets become, gone. They're gone. You're not gonna ever see them again. So what do companies do? They drop reprint sets for those people. And now what, like, for example, Yu-Gi-Oh has done every year, maybe they're not making the reprint sets like they used to back in the day, but what they do is since like maybe 2010-ish, I think, they do the tins. The tins are basically their reprint sets per year. Why are we acting like this is something new that companies do? This is something that's always done. Like, I'm sure Magic has reprint sets. Again, this is not anything new. So why are we crying about this? Like, I get the game was not that expensive, but a lot of people, not everybody likes to buy from TCG Player, right? So newer players can buy this set and get what? Starter deck Greymons, who you can't buy really unless you buy in singles, right? Kaiser Nail was only printed once. Holy Flame only printed once. So if you don't have access to buying those starter decks, or you don't want to buy singles off of TCG for whatever reason, even though they're not the most expensive, you can do that now. You know what I'm saying? So, like, again, why is there so much like cry about it? It just makes no sense to me.
I don't know. And to continue your point, there's good reprints in this fucking set. Dude.
No,
like,
that's not what I'm talking about.
Bro, like,
people said these cards aren't meta relevant.
Oh bro, my god, it's so dumb.
Tai, fucking BT1 Tai in foil. TK, BT1.
Exactly. Everything's in foil. That's what's cool about it too.
Blitz Omni, bro, which is before this, which is it's under $1, it's 60 cents. I don't know what the actual BT5 prices are for it right now, but that was
I think it's like $4 or $5 now.
That was like a $7, $8, $10. It would go up and fluctuate. That was an expensive super rare almost, Like, there's good cards in the set. Like, I don't understand.
Right. All the mem boosts as well too. You can get
all the memory boosts. Blinding Ray has a nice foil print now.
Yep.
Agumon promo. The keystone of the Greymon deck. A new art is in this set.
Lilith Mons. New Lilith Mons, bro. Super rare.
They even printed out the promo the promo Ghost Game cards that like were hard to get, that were tournament packs, which became expensive. You can get those now for cheap. Why are we talking bad about it? I get it if you're out here, if you're the type that's like a seller and shit, like, cool. You should know this is not the set for you, bro. It's not meant for you. So stop crying about it.
BT5 Koromon.
Facts.
So the one thing I'll say is that on the one hand, I can understand people upset about the pull rates, not because of them. It's about the stores. I read comments from stores about, oh, this was a really bad set for me as a store because it's not selling and I have to sell, like, I'm basically selling everything at a loss. We had to have our orders in. You know how Bandai is. You got to have your orders in 6 months before the set comes out. That sucks. But frankly, if you're a store owner and you're listening to this, you're hearing this somehow, first of all, don't use this set as the basis for ordering Digimon product. This was it's a great set for new players and well, it's a great set for players, in my opinion. It is not the set that they shouldn't have priced it. I come right back to that. This set was priced as if it was a regular BT set. Even EX sets we have gripes with. We sometimes, outside of the hype period of EX sets, the best EX set right now to buy is EX4, and that's strictly because you can get Shine Greymon. And it's even still better to just go buy a Shine Greymon on TCG rather than trying to pull it from a box. Boxes of EX3, we're able to get them for like $40, $50. Examons, like 17 regular art, maybe like 25 alternate art. Like, EX sets are not good price. In my opinion, if a regular box MSRPs for $110, a storage charge anywhere from, let's say, 75 to 90. EX sets should MSRP the box for 90, and then they should cost, I would say, 60, somewhere between like $55 to $65. This reprint booster, 110% should have been half the price of a fucking regular set. This shit should have cost $40, $50. And I think that would have it would have made store owners feel a little bit better. And if the price of it wasn't as bad, maybe players wouldn't have complained as much. I understand the ratios of reprints to the actual Ghost Game cards are off. But, to that point, I have this to say to you guys. A lot of people wanted this set for exactly what it was in Japan. When it was originally announced, it was only coming with the Ghost Game cards. And I saw a comment from a person, see if I can find it here, right here. Saw a comment from a person 34 weeks ago from Zach on Facebook. He said, I haven't seen anything from Bandai about not releasing the reprints in English. We only have distributor information that the reprints will be included in the English release of RB-01. This does not mean that the reprints will not be provided by other means, which is completely fair. And as it turns out, according to what Bandai wrote, that was exactly what they were intending for. They had intended to give us RB-01 as the Ghost Game set, and they had separate plans to distribute the reprints. Bandai's problem is that Bandai has no semblance of communication. They don't know how to manage. Frankly, they don't know how to manage shit. The fact that they came out after community backlash, as if you don't have employees sitting here monitoring the largest Facebook community for Digimon, the largest Facebook or Reddit community for Digimon. You're not looking at those like on a regular basis and saying like, hey, this is a thing that maybe we should pivot, or maybe we should release some communication on this. I don't know. It's a thing with Japanese card game makers that just things like, I don't know, don't connect in their minds in terms of communication. I think that's how we ended up with this issue to begin with. But to Mike's point, I mean, hell, let's look at it this way. We ended up with the set. It is what it is. The fact that if you're a new player, you say, I want to build a Greymon deck, you just saved about $30 by being able to buy, no, not even $30. You saved a little bit more because of the Security Attack Greymons. No, you saved a lot more. Security 1 Greymons, Promo Agumons, and Ties, all of which were somewhere, let's say around like the
Koromon, if you want to throw the Koromon in there.
Right. So the three cards I mentioned, let's say around $6 a pop, you buy a play set of each. So you're spending about, let's say, $70 to $80 total on 4 play sets, which you're now getting for what?
$10
like
maybe?
$10 max. If you decide you want to play the old black or gray for some reason, you could get that easier than you could get the other one because it's in the set. You want to play a yellow deck? I made a yellow staples video. I told you should pick up TKs. I also told you they're coming out in the reprint booster. Maybe you should wait. When I made that video, TKs were about $6 to $7, $250 with shipping. You get a playset for the price of one, like a month ago.
That's not bad, honestly.
You want
it's also foiled.
And it's foiled. You want Magna Angemons? You want it to play Setcom, but you don't want to pay the price? You're paying about $6 for a playset.
Question for the set. The secret rare reprints that are in here, are they texture foiled? What are they?
Texture foiled. Texture.
So
are
the
they?
SRs are the SRs are textured foiled, every single one, and then everything else is just foiled.
That's awesome. I don't know.
I agree.
It's crazy. We were streaming and looking at prices of this set. If you were one of the people that jumped on this when we were streaming on that Friday night to the Saturday, you lucked out. You were getting Zwart Defeats for a fucking $1. Zwart Defeats, a secret rare, a really good secret rare, what used to be like the black and purple top end for a time, for $1 was insane. Now they're like,
for sure,
$5 now. No, they're like $8 to $9 because of all the buyout shenanigans that happened. I don't think that they'll fall down though, because again, the fact that you were getting secret rares for $1, who the fuck wouldn't buy play sets, if not 2 to 3 play sets of these? I remember back in the day, bro, when I bought my case of BT5, I was playing Zwart Defeat in so many decks. I had at least like 3 play sets worth. And that card was like $50 at the time. Because it was just so good. The fact that you could now have 3 play sets of that shit for $12.
I remember it was like $60 for a while, to be honest.
Yes. Absolutely insane.
Damn, I was just looking at prices real quick. They just dipped again.
Yes, they fluctuate. Mem Boost are under $1. You can get Mem Boost for like 50 cents about.
Which is awesome.
Because you could previously only get them in a starter deck that you had to pay $13 for to get 1 of each.
Well, and mind you, actually, too, even though we're getting the training cards, you still run Mem Boost a lot with them.
Yes, don't think the training cards usurp the Mem Boost.
Yeah, don't think that you don't run Mem Boost still. Like that, those cards are still important cards to have, important cards to put in decks. Like the training cards help them out, like decks out a lot, but those don't go away.
You don't play training cards in every deck. Some decks are just not viable for the training cards. Memory Boost are eternal. Memory is always good. A search is always good. It's absolutely the things that you can get here. You know what sealed it for me? When I looked at the Pulsemon, the promo Pulsemon that they reprinted, that was the alternate art for this when it came out. I want to say it was like $25-$30. And a week ago, and probably still now, it's about $7 to $8. Pulsemon promo reprint, 12 cents. Dan and I remember a time when the only way you got this card was by attending a pre-release of BT4. And that was when the game was starting to get product available, but product was still expensive. Things were selling out, so these cards were obviously expensive. Original Pulsemons were what, Dan? $40? $30-$40?
Yeah, for real.
They were expensive in the BT5 when I was playing because
Lord Nightmon.
Bro, they were expensive when I was playing. I remember they might have still been $30-$40 then.
They probably were, because they were a really good yellow rookie. They still are, in my opinion. You should definitely have a playset, especially now that they're 12 cents. Like, and speaking of Lucemon, unfortunately, $10 isn't that, but on Friday they were like $6 for Lucemons, which was insane. This set, honestly, if you're a newer player, you love this set. If you're a competitive player, you should love this set. But I'm not going to buy anything. Nothing is here for me. No. There are cards, Kaiser Nails. The only way you get Kaiser Nails, Cocytus Breath, blue starter deck. You could get singles, but at a point, I think Kaiser Nails were a couple of dollars. That's not expensive by any means, but are you really going to complain about a 12-cent Kaiser Nail compared to a $3 Kaiser Nail? Because I don't think I would. I just don't understand. I do understand the gripes with the pull rates, but you knew what the set was. You knew half the community knew what they were asking for. So I'm sorry.
Not half. Fucking most of them. I'm not trying to get that one.
Most of the community knew what they were asking for. And, well, we got it.
You got what you wanted.
I mean, I personally,
crazy.
I don't think I cared either way. I voiced gripes with not getting the reprints, but I didn't care necessarily what they did with this. I just wanted the English player base to get access to the reprints that the Japanese player base did. And I saw some people say, well, Digimon's not even an expensive game. We didn't need reprints or anything. Just because you don't need something, does that mean you won't ask for it? If you go to a fucking restaurant, you don't need a glass of water, but are you going to ask for a fucking free glass of water? I bet you the fuck you might. I do. Not everybody drinks water, but...
Yeah, I mostly drink water. So.
Yeah, there you go. You only drink water. Yeah, some people don't drink water, but if I can ask for it, I will ask for it. Why are you upset that card prices got plummeted? Like that's straight up what happened.
It literally makes no sense. Like, why are we crying about it?
I don't know. Me personally, I'm glad that I can tell players even more convincingly, hey, if you want to play a deck, just go play it. It's not that expensive. Well, but TKs are like $6 a piece. So I have to pay like $30.
Hey, I mean, not anymore.
It was worth it back then, and hell, it's even more worth it now. You know, the only card there's not even a card I would tell you that's not worth picking up nowadays. I guess let's talk about Apocalypse,
especially for like the old staples that are still usable today.
Right. There's a lot of, don't let anybody on anywhere fool you. There's a lot of good staples in this set that you can still use in today's meta. But let's talk about Apocalypse real quick, because while English player base is over here complaining about reprint set, Japanese player base is complaining about $90 secret rare prices. Hey, Yu-Gi-Oh players, how do you guys feel about expensive play set secrets?
Ain't shit. $100 bet, $300 for them. We throwing money towards it.
$300, bro. That's nothing. You gotta buy it.
That's literally how they were. I swear to God, it was crazy.
I remember wanting to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, and I saw that I wanted to get into it at the time that Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer came out. That
was $100 too, right? It was
$100.
It was like $120, right?
It was $110.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I need 3 of this. That's $300. So slowly but surely, I got my DPEs.
I'll be honest though, Yu-Gi-Oh players are on a different kind of crack though.
Yu-Gi-Oh facts.
I like Yu-Gi-Oh's different because Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't
so
really
bad.
Yu-Gi-Oh has alt arts, but like not really. They have different arts.
It's just rarity bumps mostly.
It's the rarity bump. It's the same fucking card, but one looks prettier.
One has little shiny texture foil.
Dude, you gotta like they money, bro. I mean,
but what sucks with Yu-Gi-Oh is that they know what they be doing when it comes to their secret rares. They will drop something like the most crucial card for a deck as the secret rare for it, and you need 3 of, and it's just instantly $100. Like a lot of times, the searcher of the deck, like or something like that, will be a secret rare for no reason. And it's just like, why?
Oh yeah, they're
why is this like this? Like,
or they'll drop
was a secret rare for no reason.
They'll drop
like
a
lot
secret
of pop
rare
cards
that you need to play. You have to play like 3 of. They drop it as a secret rare, so you have to buy it for $90 or whatever. I remember what was that, Phantasme or whatever.
But Mike, we played in Maximum Crisis era, which is when Ash Blossom dropped. That was an instant 3 of. Do you know how hard it was for most people to just get those?
It was still hard to get, even for me getting in.
No way. They reprinted that shit like crazy.
They got expensive.
I'm sure it was more expensive for you, but like even for me to consider a play set was still like,
it was still like
almost
$20, I think, right? Yeah, it was still like $20-$30 for them, because like
I'll never forget.
I got lucky and I pulled a couple packs, and then I bought one box and I pulled 2 Ash Blossoms. Then I got my 3rd. I don't remember. I think I traded for or something. I don't remember. But like for other people that were like didn't get lucky and they were like trying to, it was like rough for them, because that was $100 for a minute.
Yeah, a long time, and that was like, that card is just a card you need to run, right? You still fucking play it now, I'm pretty sure. But like, first time you get
instant 3 of, you need it no matter what.
First time I got Ashed, bro, holy shit. Or even dude, Solemns, bro. Solemn
Judges back in the day.
Oh my god, bro. Crazy expensive shit. Lightning Storm, when Lightning Storm first dropped, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, god damn, expensive ass cards in that game.
Now the craziest part, right? I don't know how. So okay, in Yu-Gi-Oh, you had 3 of secrets you had to run. Were other cards in the deck also expensive?
Yeah,
sometimes.
It depends on the deck you're playing. So sometimes
some decks there was like multiple secrets and multiple ultra rares. It was like, come on now.
So the interesting thing about Yu-Gi-Oh is the card pool is so big though that if you couldn't play one of those really expensive secret rares, you could probably find an alternative for the meta.
Right. Like back in the day, Raigeki and Dark Hole. All right, Raigeki was the expensive secret rare card or ultra rare, whatever it was.
Raigeki was a secret rare. Holy hell.
Yeah, I believe so. And then Dark Hole was like reprinted 1,000,001 times, and it's pennies
until they finally banned
you know
it.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Depending on which time era you're talking about with Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's so funny when I'm looking at Raigeki prices right now, and I'm like, oh my god, they're so cheap. Because even 6 years ago, they were like fucking $25 still.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
And that card was at 1 probably at that point.
At 1, it was at 1, yeah.
Damn.
Well,
now it's unlimited, I believe.
Yeah. It got fucking yeah. But that's what I mean. Like that's the good thing about Yu-Gi-Oh though.
So
if the card was expensive, you could play something else.
Yeah, perfect example for Yu-Gi-Oh. The couple cards we just mentioned, literally just now, right? Evenly Match, Lightning Storm. Those cards that were money cards, guess what? They've been reprinted multiple times. Like that's just what they do, and that's how you get the casual. That's how you get like the people who don't want to spend money. That's how casuals stay in the game, because they reprint these amazing cards. Ash Blossom has been reprinted like 4 or 5 times now. Yep. So now that card is like maybe $5. You can get a common.
You can get a play set of Ash Blossom
starter decks now.
Yep, exactly.
And starter decks. You just buy 3 starter decks. GG. There you go. You got your 3 Ash Blossom plus whatever.
You gotta buy 3 starter decks though.
For $10, you can buy a play set of Ash Blossoms $10 now.
Exactly. So like again, let's backtrack. I know we're switching, but backtrack to like the reprint set. Why are we complaining about this? This is not anything new in card games.
Right. So like the point that I was trying to make is like when it comes to Digimon, Greymon being the exception because of when Greymon came out and the pieces that were used in it, a deck that requires a 4-of card is the most expensive. It tends to be the most expensive card that you'll pay for, and everything else is pennies. Royal Knights, Omnimon was...
I wouldn't even say that, to be honest. I think that a lot of times playsets are pretty cheap. What ends up being expensive in Digimon, is if your deck has to play a secret rare, like Chaos or Ruin mode. Like you gotta play Ruin mode. You know what I mean? Like that's an expensive card. But even then, you play 2, so $120. Or Dexmons when they were really expensive. I think that actually all the decks, like the base decks in Digimon, are fucking dirt cheap.
Yeah,
so you start playing the expensive stuff.
O-Force is an exception because you had to run 4 arenas, right?
Well, so O-Force,
Examon, Royal Knights exception because you had to play Omnimon.
Not anymore.
I mean, you could buy Examon for
but even at a point,
a piece now.
Yeah. Even at a point, Examons were 20, I want to say 25. So it was $100, and then Davis's. So 120 for Examon. Royal Knights, Omnis were maybe 20, also 25 at a point, and you didn't have to play Secret Rare Gallimon. I'll tell everybody that. Like, it's a good card, but you could have played any other Gallimon or any other Royal Knight. But if you wanted to play Gallimon, all inclusive, $160 for Royal Knights. When you compare that to every other card game for meta decks, that's nothing. That is nothing. So the big thing now is that, Apocalypse in Japan, and now mind you, before we talk about the price, pull rates in the Japanese version of Digimon are different. They get 1 secret rare per box. I believe it's either 1 secret rare or 1 alternate art. I can't remember what the exact ratios are, but almost basically whatever we get, they get halved. They get maybe 6 to 7 cards in a pack, whereas we get 10. They get less packs in a box. We get 24. They get some lesser amount. Their boxes are also cheaper because of all of that. But their Apocalypse, somewhere between $70 to $90. I don't know how much they are right now, but I know players were complaining about it. Now that one's a little bit different, right? Because that means you're anywhere between $200 to $400 for a 3 to 4 of secret. And I mean, yeah, that's definitely a thing that, I would be upset about. But you know what? I wouldn't be upset about it. Why wouldn't I be upset about it? Well, the set just released. why don't you fucking wait like a week? Why don't you wait a couple weeks? You know, it's not like you need to play a Pokemon. Do you want to play it? If you want to play it, go buy the card. If you can't afford the card, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Don't play the card. Like, there are plenty other at that viable decks to play. Shit, East just did an EX5 meta recap. Bro, a whole slew of decks that are still tearing it up in BT15 format. A Pokemon is strong for sure. There's definitely a lot of other decks that you're gonna be playing and they're cheaper. You know, like, I understand people want to play with the cards. And, you know, for the casual players, like, I sympathize with them. Like, they want to play a Pokemon, but they don't really want to buy this card because they don't really buy singles. But hey, I mean, they were buying boxes anyways, right? So maybe you'll pull one. And if you pull one, cool. You got yourself in a Pokemon. If you don't, well, I mean, I'm sure you're going to enjoy the rest of the cards anyways. But, you know, I saw this post and Mans was like, oh, here's the death of Digimon because this card costing $90 is going to drive so many people away. I remember showing that
it's
to
really
Dan.
a terrible reason.
I just
That's
feel like
so terrible.
So all right, here's like we just talked about Yu-Gi-Oh. I played Yu-Gi-Oh when I was in college. I was a broke college student, fucking dirt poor broke college
Same.
student, bro. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh is an expensive game. There was a lot of decks I could not afford. You know what I did? I did not play them. I said, I can't afford this right now. I'm not going to spend money I don't have on a fucking card game. I'm just going to play cheaper decks, whatever.
And have fun with it, right?
Yeah, I had literally, I think the only reason I graduated college is because I showed up every day to play fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! If I wasn't showing up to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I probably wouldn't have fucking showed up to college, bro. Fucking being honest, you know what I mean? Like right. You just play. You don't have to play. And I get it. Like, if that's your favorite Digimon, you want to play that deck. I understand, but like, bro, don't. You know, it's a fucking card game. I love this card game, but don't put yourself into debt playing this card game, or don't think you need to buy these fucking cards. Like, just wait. You know, wait a little bit. Prices will drop. I'm sure.
Definitely wait. I mean, that's like the biggest thing.
You know. And even if you can't play it right now, this brand new deck, right? And I understand you want to play it right now, right? But if you wait a set, 2 sets, maybe the deck becomes less relevant, right? Then you can pick the deck up for cheap and play it. If it's your favorite Digimon, I think that waiting to play it isn't a bad move. If you're gonna,
and also
you know?
Yeah, and also, you know, if you really want to play, you just buy it bit by bit. Maybe you save a couple dollars here and there from paycheck. And so on, you go buy one.
If it's that
do it
important
all over
to
again, if you really want to, you know, save up or whatever you choose to do, and probably by then it'll be even cheaper. So, but maybe the first one will be a little bit expensive, but maybe the second one will be maybe $10 cheaper, and then so on, depending on how the meta goes. You know, Pokemon probably will stay up there because that's gonna be a busted ass deck. But you know, that's what I've done, especially when we were talking about like Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to just save up for certain cards and then go from there.
I have only loved one deck so much that I paid release day prices for the entire deck, and that was Examon. I paid, I don't know, somewhere maybe like $350, $400.
Did you do that for Royal Knights?
Kind of.
Royal Knights basically the first week.
I didn't get it all in one day.
Okay.
Because like Examon, I went on TCG Player. I put everything in the cart because I knew I wasn't buying any of that set, and I bought everything for Examon. And I mean, yeah, I paid maybe like $400 for the deck, and obviously that deck now is worth maybe like $100, if so much. I mean, Mastamon's different, right? Because Mastamon gets like force fed.
Yeah,
every
you bought every fucking all you could as soon as it dropped.
Well, because I knew I was going to love Anji Woman. Like, honestly, if I hadn't sold you the Mastamon deck, I would have sold the deck without the Anji Womans. As a matter of fact, I think that's exactly what I did, right? I think I sold you the deck without the Anji Womans because I kept the Anji Womans for myself.
Yeah, I think I just bought them.
Yeah.
That was an expensive fucking... All right, perfect example. I did not need to buy that fucking deck. I did not need to spend all that money on that deck. I didn't need to do it. I fucking did it. You know, like, I don't know. So it's tough because I do kind of get like wanting to play a deck like that. Like, and I know that the price is big,
especially if it's meta, right?
But here's the thing for like English players, right? You're concerned about this card. Let's say like so Japanese players have to deal with the card being expensive right now, right? We, as an English player base, or anywhere else that doesn't have BT 15 or whatever it is, we get to the like ability to see into the future. Be like, that card's gonna be fucking expensive. If that's a deck you want to play, and you know it's gonna be expensive, save up for it now. We have a few months. You know, if that is the deck you are set on playing, then skip. You know, don't buy anything crazy for BT 14. Just buy base ready stuff. You know, like you don't need anything from BT 14 to play Pokemon. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I was planning on doing. I purposely didn't buy. I mean, obviously, I wasn't going to buy any of the reprint set, anyways. I'm not really going. You know, I'll buy a couple of the starter decks. That's it. BT 14. I want the Fenry stuff. But like EX5, like that's where like I want a lot of shit because Leviamon and then BT15, Leviamon X, like that's what I'm aiming for. So I'm not planning to get that much. I mean, now I am because reasons, but I wasn't planning originally to get that much of BT14 because I was planning to save that chunk for what I'm prepping for in BT or EX5 and BT15. I just, you know. Digimon is it's
addictive.
It's addictive. I have a problem.
I have to say I've been pretty good. Like I have not been buying.
Yeah, guess what happens when you don't show up?
Well,
I'll tell you what, right? I haven't been to the card shop in 2 weeks. Do you know how much money I save not going to the card shop?
Yeah, well, it's because every time I fucking go to though, I have to buy something.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta support the LGS.
And what do? I drop a fucking $100 every fucking time I go for no fucking reason.
I don't be dropping $100 every time, but I do.
Hey, yo, you know why I go there? When I pay for my participation, I buy 1 pack. That's my participation every single time.
No, I go there. I be buying dumb shit that I don't need. Action figures.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
let me buy a box of this fucking card game I'm never gonna play.
Let me. How much boxes of BT12 you got, Lush?
What was that?
You're just trying to, say that we shouldn't become the DigiGuard pirates or anything. Which, don't worry, we won't. I just, I invested in the DigiGuard United, not the DigiGuard Pirates today. So we're here for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, because the moment that happens, you alienate Dan, and Dan's out.
It's okay. We'll get Dan to play Kaizoku and Iori Naru at some point in time.
I will never.
We'll just handcuff him, stick him in the back, and force feed him One Piece until he's like, all right.
I'll be honest. I think the reason Dan doesn't want to play One Piece is because I don't shut the fuck up about how much I love that anime and manga.
I would agree.
I think that's exactly why
you're that friend. You're that friend that's like,
I mean,
fucking hell. I don't even like One Piece, right?
We have a group chat, and every 2 or 3 days, I be fucking slobbing on Oda, bro. I'm like, this man's a fucking genius. I fucking like, that's why Dan won't.
You slobbing on him, huh?
Dude, the goat right there, bro.
You got it all in your mouth. Well,
all right, you take it away too fucking. I said something questionable, and then you just fucking.
You're on something, Mike. It probably is. It probably has. It's a mixture of everything,
I think
it's a mixture of I'm not getting into another card game. It's a mixture of Mike's annoying love for One Piece, which is really annoying to hear every single day of my life. It's a mixture of everything, you know what I'm saying? It's a mixture of I don't want to support
the Church of Oda.
I don't want to support Bandai more than just Digimon because Digimon, the way they treat Digimon,
which I can get on board with, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair, actually.
But
it's a mixture of reasons for me.
So talking about Pokemon, outside of like the price of it, I mean, the only thing that I'll say that I understand is that you want to play a meta deck.
Is that a quick question? Is that for the regular version or the all R for
that was Pokemon? That was for the regular version, I believe. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. So I'm guessing their Pokemon all R was what, like 120 or something?
So I mean, this was release day prices, which again, this is why we say don't buy anything on release day. All right, wait a week, wait 2 weeks. You don't need to play this shit the day it comes out. And if you do, you shouldn't be bitching about the price because obviously you have the money to buy it. But on the release day, their regular art was almost 9,500 yen, which is somewhere around like $90 US. And their alternate art was almost 17,000 yen, somewhere around $160 US.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yep. Again,
bro, even I'm not
fucking
fucking that crazy to buy that shit. I'll be honest, bro.
Now they went down, like obviously they've gone down, but I don't know where they look up their prices, so I don't know how to see this. I just know from like Francis Yu East on Facebook, I see what they post, and that's what I'm saying here. But this is why we reiterate: don't buy on release day. Wait, it's cool. You don't have to play this shit. Complain about this shit being expensive 2 weeks after it comes out. Omnimon, for example, funny, people are like, I hate 4 of Secrets. You need 4 Omnimons to play Royal Knights. I mean, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I get it. It's $25. And of course, that's the only deck it's played in. Rena, 4 of Secret, she was only played in one deck. Bielstar, 4 of Secret, only played in one deck. I believe the only Secret... Do we have any generic like 4 of Secrets?
Galactimon's a 4 of in his own deck too.
Right. I think that those are like the minuscule ones.
Oryukin was 2,
yeah,
3,
Oryukin.
right?
Yeah, Oryukin was 3. I guess Dexmon, right? So Dexmon at a point in time was at least a 2 to a 3 of in some decks, and he was what, 60 at the very low, more like 70-ish, and then like at a point it was like 110, almost 120 for the alternate
fucking
art.
Crazy for a bit, yeah.
And that was just for like that was also a very short printed card. It had a deck that revolved around it for sure. Not that the deck was good. The whole idea with Apocalypse is that here's his deck, and he obviously doesn't get played in his deck at all. He gets played with the Gururo engine and some really good level 6s, black level 6 to be specific, black getting its time to shine. Which, on that note brings me to another point. Japanese player, he posted on Facebook and he went on pretty much a rant. I mean, that's straight up what it was. He basically said from EX5, like it just starts the purple era of the card game. And me sitting here as a purple player, Dan as a purple player, we sit here and we're like, bring it on. I mean, Dan, when was the last time outside of Beelzemon that purple had its time in the spotlight?
Probably just Lilith Loop, and that's it.
That's what I would think. Just
no,
Lilith, or Lilith. Sorry.
No, Belphemon. Belphemon is tier 1.5-ish deck.
Before Belphemon and Beelzemon. I don't count Beelzemon because of the advanced starter deck. So just in terms of pure set support.
Probably just Lilith Loop, right?
That's what I would think. Bielstar kind of. It was but it was never really like mono purple in that way. But Minerva Loop, kinda. It didn't ever really do anything much. Bielstar probably be the closest thing. Exactly.
Yeah, if you want to count Bielstar, but like it plays, mixed colors. I would say Lilith Loop probably.
Right.
I'm trying to think. I don't think there was anything besides that outside like Mastermon, but again that's purple yellow.
Purple yellow, yep.
Like straight mono, purple. Yeah, I think that's really it.
So I saw a comment that basically said, purple. This person felt that purple was a color that all it needed was one busted card. Not even busted, like one card would break it open. And that's effectively what happened. Because
I agree.
Anubismon, Purple Garurumon, Bielstarmon, Apocalypse, Lugamon. I don't think I missed any
running
decks.
the Guru
No, it doesn't. But like in terms of being a purple deck. Sorry. I was just counting off purple decks. I guess you could, because you only have. You have the new Lugamon.
I think you need all the
dark
line,
animals, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would figure. But for purple decks, immediately superb Anubismon, the new one from EX5. The L-Star comes back to the limelight. Just fucking purple metal Garurumon. And then, of course, you know, Apocalypse not playing the Dark Masters version. So the common denominator between those 4 decks, Garurumon X Antibody. We talked about this on stream a little bit. We talked about this in our Discord.
That card's broken.
When they revealed Gabu X, we even talked about it with Huang Zero. When Gabu X was revealed, I was completely content with the card. I didn't mind the search. I didn't mind what it did. I didn't mind the inheritable. One thing I didn't want was that inheritable again on the level 4. I figured it might happen. Dan said it would happen. It did happen. Okay, whatever. At the time, like, I don't think anybody ever really thought about it. We didn't look at this card. Yeah. Hey, what topic did we just talk about a couple weeks ago? Where you look at a card and you're like, oh, that needs to be banned. We did not look at Garurumon X and say, that's a polarizing card. We probably said, oh, wow, that's really good.
Only because we didn't think about like the potential could be in like random decks, you know what I'm saying? Like we just thought, we were just thinking strictly just Garurumon deck. So it was like, oh, this is crazy for them, but like, you know, whatever.
Right.
But then when you think about it, it's like, oh wait, this is a free Evo. Oh wait, this is a graceful charity for free. Oh wait, you're not just a free Evo, you're a +1 gain memory. Oh wait, inheritable, you got protection that facilitates itself. Like it just gets crazy the more you think about it, and just the way purple works. Like
not only the way
spirals
purple
out of control.
It's not even just the way purple works. Like that's one big thing, but it's also the fact that like the Garurumons that they made for purple are, well, not the Garurumons, I would say just the one. One of the Garurumons that they made for purple, really good. Namely, starter deck Garurumon. When attacking, draw 1, trash 1. That combos with starter deck Gabumon for when attacking, draw 1, trash 1. BT3 Gabumon on deletion, draw 2, trash 1. Like early purple Garurumon support was all about draw trash. So they went right back to those roots with EX5. And we didn't even realize, like, oh, that's what this facilitates. I mean, the fact that on you popping off your line, right? If you just raise a single Gabumon out of raising, Digivolve, Gabu X, you +2 to hand, you trash 1. Let's say you have a singular Cool Boy, you tap that, you gain a memory, draw 1. Guru X, you draw 2, trash 2, you gain a memory, you swing, or of course you Digivolve a Garurumon along the way. Then you swing, you're getting another draw 1, trash 1 from the Guru. You might get another draw 1, trash 1 from the Gabu if you run it. I'm sure there's a new purple egg that synergizes with the strat. Whether you gain a memory, you draw another card, you trash 1, whatever. Like, you probably cycle through a total of 8 cards by just Digivolving to a champion.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then the thing too, because of all that protection, you can just start swinging willy-nilly early and not even care before you even get to what your deck does, and you already probably do like 1 or 2 damage because like the Werguru X, if you throw that in, and then it's like, all right, cool, no problem. All right, Anubismon, 4 bodies, or I guess Beelstar, free Beelstar, you know, blow up, control, whatever. Melga, you just continue the onslaught what you're doing. Apocalypse now. You drop a Pokemon for 3, put 3 cards underneath, 3 of the Dark Masters, and then at the turn of Fed, you put someone else under, which could be based on what we've seen. You can get crazy, you get, you know, Belf My Sleep mode effect, add rage mode, so that's 10 cards milled. That Apocalypse basically unkillable, basically. You can also negate an attack to facilitate more of it, or put Cranium underneath, so it's 4 in total, so mill 8 Cranium on, you become a block and you're unaffected by everything. Or you put Metallic Digimon, you know, I forget what the on play is, but it's something crack. Digivolve everything, kill, and then your opponent can't Digivolve.
If it doesn't kill anything, your opponent can't Digivolve, crazy. Some shit like that. Yeah,
you can drop like Magnadramon out of Recover 2, or, you know, on board, sec attack -1, everything. Like, there's so much to it that you get crazy that Pokemon is just like, steamroll the F out of you, you know what I'm saying? So like it gets crazy for purple.
They're gonna have to hit that Garuru engine. I think
The problem is, like, do you just hit Garuru X and just that's it, or do you hit like something else like Gobble X? Because Gobble X is cracked too,
That deck is so insane. I honestly don't know. I don't know what the right hit is. I have to play it. And I'd have to see it
same
before I could say anything. But I just it is such a good engine, and it facilitates too many things.
You know what the crazy
I almost forgot
part
one more purple deck. Leviamon is using the the Garou engine, and that's working for it too.
You know what the crazy part is? This is going to be part of our meta for Nats. I can see a lot of people running Garuru X.
Oh yeah, why weren't they? Probably
this shit is just
I plan on playing Beelstar and Nats with the Garuru engine, bro.
Of course you would.
I'm excited to start testing for Nats, because if I'm gonna start playing all these Garuru players, I'm gonna try to bring back my mill strats and hope that like my mill strat can keep up. I don't know if it will, but we're definitely gonna try.
If any of the Greymons don't get touched either, that's an option too, because as we saw, Shine Greymon was still doing things over there.
It still is. I can't remember on the list he just on the list
top
he posted,
4, top 5.
but yeah, it was like top 4. Shine Gray still doing things, I'm sure War Gray / Black War Gray / Greymon Toolbox was also up there, because Greymon always strong. But you know what's funny about this? Everybody's all up in arms about this, right? They're like, oh my goodness, about Greymon. Oh my goodness, Greymon engine. Oh my goodness, Anubismon, look at all these decks. Hey, weren't you just bitching about the Greymon card game? Welcome to the era of
the Garuru card game.
Greymon card game. Yes, it's the Garurumon card game for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, so
what you complaining about?
Yeah, continue. Sorry. Real quick, top 10 decks for in the EX05 meta was 1 Anubismon, 2 Garurumon, 3 Shine Greymon, 4 Mirage, 5 War Gray. So that was like the top 5 decks. So Greymon's still good.
Greymon's
6
still good.
Devo, Beelstar 7, Pharaoh Lugamon at 8, which was surprised as that low.
I was also surprised.
Still another purple deck. And then 9 Bloom Quantum, and then 10 Crossheart, surprisingly.
Bloom Quantum. Whoa.
That Quantumon is so cracked for that deck.
Well, all right, so we've got to, before we end the pod, we've got to tell the viewers what the hell this Quantumon is and why this card is they haven't announced when we're getting the LM set, unfortunately. But whenever we get the LM set, let me tell you listeners and viewers what Quantumon does. So Quantumon is a level 6 secret for this limited set. It is yellow and green. It digivolves for 5 when digivolving by placing 1 Digimon at the top of its owner's security stack, any Digimon. Reveal all cards in your opponent's security stack and place 1 card among them at the top of their deck. Then shuffle the rest and return it to the security stack. Removal. And then at the start of the opponent's turn, declare 1 card category. Then reveal the top card of your opponent's deck. If the card is of the declared category, this Digimon can't be affected by the effects of that category for the turn. Return the revealed card to the top or bottom of your opponent's deck.
Crazy.
Busted.
Crazy. HPD needs to be gone by then.
Oh my goodness.
So Quantumon is so crazy that I was like, man, I could play that in Mastermon.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure, because it's yellow and green.
It's nutty.
You can play this in Cherubimon.
You can play anything that's yellow or green.
Yeah, you can play it in anything.
Like, it's not just,
But like, that's how good this card is. This card is crazy. So to hear Quartz, what was it? Bloom Quantum?
Yeah, Bloom Quantum, they called it.
It's like a fucking Power Ranger, bro.
Yeah, facts. It really does.
Quantum Ranger,
Bloom Quantum,
bro.
go!
Yeah, fucking nutty.
Nah, this card's insane. I'm excited.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I can't wait till we hear, when Bandai might. I just wish, to wrap up today's pod,
consistency from Bandai.
Bandai, I wish you, if you're listening to this, please, like, at the end of the day, you'll make so many people.
If Bandai's listening to us, that's a really fucking funny.
I gotta say it, right? Or if they come across this somehow. If you want this game to survive, the one biggest thing that you need to do is have a line of communication with your player base. That's it. If you constantly would say, hey, this is what we're doing, this is what the move is going forward, I guarantee you half of the people wouldn't bitch. If people had known that you were going to give us a separate reprint booster set, and then the Ghost Game stuff as two separate products, nobody would have complained because we were getting the reprints. But as far as they had known, you were only going to give us the Ghost Game stuff. You weren't going to give us the reprints. And look where that ended up, you know? Which, as I say that just reminded me of something. The last thing I'll say before we end pod. Yo, shout out to our boy Lance. Lance is funny as shit. Lance posted like a day or two, I think it was the Thursday that this set was dropping. And he was like, listen, if I don't see any pictures of y'all buying boxes of the booster set, then I don't want to hear y'all complain about shit in the future, essentially. And you know what? I had to agree with that. And the reason I had to agree with that is because the same people bitching back then, the same people bitching now, same people not buying the set. And some people were like, well, no, I bitched because I wanted us to get the same thing, but it doesn't mean I'm going to buy it. Well, then shut the fuck up. No, I'm sorry. It's just don't complain. I don't remember exactly what I said back then, but I knew I wasn't going to buy it anyways because A, I don't care about Ghost Game, and B, I don't need the reprints. I knew I was going to buy just singles. The only thing that you should have been advocating for was, hey, we want reprints. But instead you were like, give us the Japanese product. You got it. You got it. They may have removed the boost and the rookies, but you got what you asked for. You cannot be upset with that. You cannot be upset that you got exactly what you asked for. That being said, that is it for today's episode of DigiPod, the digital podcast. Until we talk to you guys the next time. Peace out.
Peace.
Catch you on the next one.